The following podcast is part of the Underdog Sports Podcast Network. For advertising information or to find more great podcasts, visit us at www.theunderdogsports.com and follow us on Twitter at RealTheUnderdog.
Okay. Well, just for the record, we got the sunny in Phoenix too.
52 to
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sunny in Phoenix podcast, a weekly podcast where we keep you up to date on everything Phoenix Suns basketball. My name is Charlie Erling, and as always, I'm joined by Mitch Krmpotich.
I don't know about you, but I feel worse than before.
I don't know about you, but I feel good.
Just keeping it real there. This week on the show, we'll be discussing the referees like Monty Williams briefly did in a post-game interview. After that, we'll be talking about the hopeful return of Kevin Durant as early as Wednesday, potentially. And then after that, we'll be going over last week's games and taking a quick look at this week's games.
Shoutouts are not in order for this week because our bet question was delayed once again because Deandre Ayton was out and we didn't expect him to be, and our bet question centered around him. So shout out to everyone who listened, and the season series still remains 7-6 with me in the lead. So stay tuned later for that. I feel like we've been delayed more than ever this year because of players being out and all that kind of thing. So this week I'm going to try to think of something that is definitely not going to get impacted, but I thought that last week, so we'll see.
Yeah, no kidding. Maybe we need to start doing a backup question just for
yeah, really.
This.
Yeah, at this point.
All right, we're going to go there. We're going to talk about the referee situation that the Suns have been running into lately. And I want to start this off by giving a few statistics, which honestly make this, not sound so bad, but it is. And I'll talk about why I think that is. First of all, we give up 25.5 free throw attempts per game. We shoot 21.6. That sure doesn't seem as drastic as everyone's making it out to be. What do you think about that?
That is actually interesting. I was a little bit surprised to see that. I think there's a little bit of recency bias because of the Lakers game and the Kings game, but it's still not good.
No, it's definitely not good. And I mean, that's just almost 4 less attempts per game, but I think the big deal here is the momentum swings that are caused when these free throws and bogus fouls get called. That's what my gripe is about. It's not the overall number. It's about how they're happening. Because it feels like it's not a two-way street, and it's been pretty apparent that the Suns aren't getting the exact same calls that other teams are.
Yeah, that's actually, I think, more my issue is the latter part of that. And we've all seen that video of Devin Booker getting his arm slapped very clearly against the Lakers and causing him to drop the ball going out of bounds, no foul call, turnover on Devin Booker. My issue more so is that it's not really a two-way street. I know that for the past few years, we have not been the smartest with our fouls. Sure, there have been some kind of soft calls, but that's just kind of how the NBA is at this point. What bothers me more is that there are plays that are that obvious that we're not getting those foul calls for. And I can't tell you why, because sometimes I'm like, well, it's because we complain too much. But every team complains this much. Even my boy Domantas Sabonis, go Zags. He was complaining so much in this Kings game. And I'm like, all these teams are complaining just like we are. That's not unique to us. So, yeah, I think my issue more so is that it's not called evenly. It's not a two-way street. I wouldn't mind if they were calling the same thing on our end of the court.
No, I hear you. And look at the technicals in the Sacramento game from last night. Booker got one and Paul got one. And this is what started that giant run they went on. It was like 22-3 or 22-5 or a run, something like that. Spurred by a technical, a couple missed foul calls. We couldn't make a bucket this entire time too. So that some of the blame does lie on that we just couldn't convert on anything.
Right. But what really gets me on that is they call a tech on us on one end. Literally the next possession, there's a foul call on Chris Paul. Sure, maybe he was acting a little bit, but he sells it. And De'Aaron Fox is doing something pretty equal to what Chris Paul gets a tech for. And right in front of the ref, too. And the ref just sits there and watches him and doesn't do anything.
Yeah. I've never heard Eddie Johnson go in on a ref like he did last night with Ed Malloy.
Oh, my gosh, I know.
And it was warranted. It was 100% warranted. And I don't know if broadcasters have some sort of deal where they can get fined, but that would have been worthy of a fine if that was a thing. Because Eddie went in on that guy.
On the post game show, they noted that Eddie Johnson said Ed Malloy's name 15 times.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. That was pretty funny.
He went in, and I'm happy he did, because stuff like this keeps happening. And yeah, the discrepancy at the end of the game wasn't that big. Well, I don't even know what it was. I don't have the box score pulled up yet, but I think it was only like 5 or less. So, the refs, they can do things to make the final total look pretty decent and that sort of thing, but the momentum that can be changed in the game by the ref calling a few little extra technicals like that it's apparent, and it was very apparent in the Sacramento game. Yeah,
I mean, it's like you said, it's that momentum swing that changes everything. The free throw discrepancy, we shot 29 free throws and the Kings shot 32. So only a 3 free throw difference, which is 1 less than average. But still, even with that, it was the massive momentum swing that kind of got spurred. And like you said, it's not all the refs. We could have been hitting buckets. We were missing a lot. But it was just such a demoralizing thing to have that technical called and then another one shortly after. And we're just talking about the Kings game here. I mean, the Lakers game was worse, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was the 46-20, which Monty.
Yeah, that's where Monty
Mike
went
dropped.
in. And that was Scott Foster. And what gets me with that, and this video was going around too, I'm sure everyone saw it. In the Lakers huddle, they're saying, it's Scott Foster, it's Scott Foster. They know that he doesn't like Chris Paul. He doesn't like the Suns. He's so biased. And they're taking advantage of that, which, there's nothing wrong with what the Lakers did there. That's what you have to do. That's just smart strategizing if you know this. But it should not be that obvious that a ref doesn't like a player or a team that much and that you can use that as part of your strategy. That's not right.
Yeah, and then I saw people trying to vouch for the Lakers and be like, they were saying that because they know that Scott Foster can change the tune of a game late in the game just like that, and it could be on us. I don't know if that's what was going on. I think they were recognizing Scott Foster has something against Chris Paul. It's very obvious. Yes. And just keep taking it at the rim and playing handsy. and it's probably going to be okay.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that's what they're saying. I don't think they were at all saying, oh, this could go against us. No,
Right.
They know we can play harder. We can play more physical than they can. Keep going at Chris Paul because, one, he's slowed down as a defender, and two, Scott Foster hates him. And three, we're getting every single call, so just get to the line over and over and over and over again.
I mean, what more evidence do you need than seeing an opposing team call out a referee by name stating that, we can do this to our advantage because of this?
Right.
That's terrible.
Something needs to be done. Something needs to happen.
Yeah, I don't think anything's going to happen. That guy's going to retire and probably get so much money from the NBA for some hush money of some extent. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
There's some fishy stuff going on.
There's something going on there, yeah. But anytime Scott Foster is officiating one of our games, we're not going to win.
Yeah, it's very, very,
that.
very unlikely.
Yeah. So
can't wait till we get him in the playoffs a few times.
my
Probably for some home games too, just to, really, really mess us up.
Totally. Yeah.
If we make the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
You know what we need back on the team, though? Obviously, we're missing Deandre Ayton over these last few games with the hip/thigh/groin bruise, whatever that may be. But also, we're missing the Kevin Durant jumpers that are unstoppable, unguardable. That the refs can't change the tone of that. That's just those are FU buckets right there.
That's true. Yeah. Oh, we need him so bad.
With that, let's move it on. Talk about some happier notes here. It looks like Kevin Durant could be back for Wednesday's game.
And we need him. I mean, the rest of our schedule is really, really tough. It's going to come down to the very end, I think, and we're going to need everyone. So what I'm kind of hoping is that we realize this. KD will be back Wednesday. Hopefully Ayton is back right around then too, if not earlier. And we can just go in with our full squad, take care of business, and finish in the top 5 in the West. That's all I can ask for.
Yes. We need that to happen. Even the 6th seed. I'll take that.
Even the 6th seed would be okay.
That's fine. As long as we stay out of the play-in. And I think as soon as Kevin Durant comes back on the court, doesn't matter how the other guys are playing hardly at that point, except, as long as Devin Booker does what he does, I think everyone else just falls in line and enjoys the ride with KD and Book. That's what's going to happen. So there's plenty of reason for optimism once those guys get healed up.
I did see that once the news was announced that KD likely, I guess I don't know how likely, but could come back on Wednesday. I saw that the Vegas odds of us winning the West went way up, and now we're the favorites coming out of the Western Conference over the Nuggets even.
Wow.
Not in the regular season, but in the playoffs, make it to the finals.
I wonder why that is.
KD?
Yeah, but this is still the given timetable for his return pretty much. He's not coming back earlier or anything. Why should that make any difference on the Western Conference odds,
Like to win the West to get to the finals.
Right. I mean, KD would have been back anyways, so why did they ever lower it?
Well, probably because we didn't know how long he would be out.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
That's just my guess.
Vegas knows. They know more than
they do. For sure. And yeah, it's actually pretty amazing. I mean, if you look at, because ever since sports betting became legal in Arizona, I've paid a little bit more attention to over-under and game lines and things like that. And it's pretty incredible how accurate they are. For instance, this Gonzaga-UCLA game, Go Zags, UCLA was favored by 1.5. Gonzaga did end up winning by 3, but with 12 seconds left, UCLA was up by 1. So that's pretty much as close as you can get. I suppose Gonzaga could have hit a 2-pointer instead of a 3 and just won by 2, and that would be a little closer, but very, very, very close to what they predicted. So Vegas is often spot on this stuff.
Yep, that is factual for sure. But yeah, we'll hopefully be getting KD back Wednesday, unless there's a setback, I assume. And then you got to assume that Ayton has to be about ready to go too.
Especially because it's just a contusion that he's dealing with. It's not like a sprain or anything like that. It sounds like we're just being just about as conservative as possible so that we can have our full firepower come playoff time, which, I mean, we're rapidly approaching.
We really are. Yeah, just a touch over 2 weeks away. I guess 2 weeks until the end of the regular season when this episode comes out. So
yeah, 2 weeks.
We're getting there.
Just a few more games left.
All right, let's briefly go through last week's games. None of these were a ton of fun. We did see the Suns beat the Magic, though.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. 116, 113. Ayton did play in this one. He had 16 and 7. Just a real nice balanced scoring effort from these guys without Kevin Durant on the floor. But again, it was against the Magic, so you got to kind of take that.
It was probably our ugliest win of the season. But
fair.
I don't really care. A win is a win is a win. I will take a win. If we win every game by 1 point, we still go undefeated. So that's fine.
And if you look at the standings right now, a win is a win. We needed that. Otherwise, we'd be real scary looking at that play-in.
Yeah, every single win is so impactful right now.
What's a good takeaway? Oh, this was Cam Payne's kind of one of his big games. It looks like he's trying to get back on track. He had 18 points on 7 for 12 shooting in this one. 5 assists and just 1 turnover.
Yeah,
so,
that's good.
As we see the team, near the end of the regular season, we all know the miles that are on Chris Paul right now. So if Cam Payne can step up and play great minutes, I mean, those 20-plus minutes that he could play if he's having a big game would be so beneficial for Chris Paul in the long run. That's something I'm kind of counting on here for these 2 weeks is Cam Payne to get back into the flow. Like, he missed quite a bit of the season. He's normally pretty sturdy and healthy and available for everything, but he has missed quite a few this year.
Yeah, I mean, between this year and last year, just so much inconsistency.
That's very true.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But glad to see him getting back on track a little bit. We're going to need him to hold it down a little bit with that second unit.
Right. All right, we'll talk about this Thunder game. Cam Payne did not have a good one in this one, so definitely a fall off. But, no one could really had much to write home about in this one for the Suns except Booker, who went for 46 and really was the guy who was keeping this close as much as possible. But, man, the Thunder just kind of had our number in that second half.
Yeah. Ugh. And falling apart in the second half has kind of been our MO lately. I mean, we only scored 22 points in the fourth quarter against the Magic after maintaining a decent lead for a lot of the game. But, that fourth quarter was a rough one for us. But, falling apart in the second half, it's not good. Booker did everything. But if Booker even plays an average game, we lose this by 20.
Yeah, and I forgot to bring this up in the first section of the show when we were talking about the refs, but Gilgeous-Alexander shot 19 free throws in this game.
Yeah, right.
He had 8 free throws in the first quarter.
Right.
It took Booker 36 minutes of basketball to shoot 8 free throws.
Mm-hmm. And you can't tell me he's not driving to the rim.
No,
Booker
you can't.
is the one who is getting to the rim. Like you said, he is recognizing that they're saying, well, you don't drive to the rim. So he's like, okay, I'll show you. I do drive to the rim, and I still don't get these calls.
Right.
I mean, the Thunder shot 36 free throws. We shot 24.
Yeah.
I mean, our free throw shooting also wasn't amazing. 70.8%. I mean, I know. I don't know. It's so hard to say like what made us fall apart fully in this one, because really like no one aside from Devin Booker had a good game. Chris Paul had a pretty good game actually, but he just doesn't score a lot at this point in his career. But he did have 14 points and 13 assists, but 5 for 15 shooting. So most people didn't play very well. Booker kept us in it, and then yeah, they did play. I thought they were sitting Gilgeous-Alexander at this point, but no, and he scores 40 points. You know, a lot of them coming from free throws, but 40 points, and Dort had 20. That's hard. Isaiah Joe had 15 points. That's gonna be tough to stop. You know, it's hard to beat a team when someone like that has 15 points and hits 3 threes.
Yeah. That's all he can do, and it seems like I recall him having 1 or 2 of those drop, and there was just no one near him, which is tough. And then Dort going 4 for 6 from downtown is
right.
That probably hasn't happened this year,
right?
You know, so yeah, that's just what happens. Okay, yep. So that was unfortunate, but you know, the Thunder, they're an up and coming team. They were just a game under 500 after this one, I think, and they're battling with the Lakers for the play-in spot. So
yeah, I actually really want them to make the playoffs over the Lakers. I think the Thunder are going to be pretty decent in the next couple of years, but I think we talked about that a lot last time too.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we were just donating wins to those guys to make sure their battle stayed tight, you know, because the next game we lose to the Lakers 122 to 111, and oh man, losing to the Lakers without LeBron sucks, even after the trade deadline. Like, it just sucks to do. But then D'Angelo Russell scores 26, Anthony Davis has 27, Austin Reeves has 25. Half of his points coming from the free throw line. So
yeah, I'm surprised it's only half. I was thinking it was maybe 20 points from the free throw line or so. That's what it seemed like.
Yeah, 12 for 13 from the line. Anthony Davis, 7 for 10. You get 2 guys in double figures, and those 2 guys shot more than the Suns combined.
Yeah. Yeah, that was ridiculous. That was one of the worst games I've watched in a long time. That was also the first time we've lost to the Lakers in a while. I think we had beat them 8 times in a row or something. So
you could literally say years. It was the first time in years that we'd lost to the Lakers.
Yeah. So
sad.
I suppose that was inevitable, but you know, we had everything stacked against us. Scott Foster, all our injuries, you know, and if that's what it takes for the Lakers to beat us, you know, if they've got to shoot, how many free throws did they shoot? 89. If they have to shoot that many free throws and have Scott Foster in order to beat us by 11, you know, for the first time in years, okay, I guess, whatever. We can suck it up and take that L, you know, one of our few against the Lakers.
Yeah, and the really tough thing about this one was there was literally no one to guard Anthony Davis.
Right.
Jock Landale got eaten alive.
Yeah.
You can't expect that matchup to be happening for more than 5 minutes a game. And then, like, Busy he's 6'8", you know? It's tough for him to match up on those really good scoring big guys. But as a rim protector, you know, an off-ball rim protector, I love him there. And I can't believe what he does for being 6'8", but there's a difference there.
Yeah, tough against Anthony Davis. Even Deandre Ayton has struggled against Anthony Davis at times, but he would have made a huge difference in this one.
Yeah, for sure. And along with the next game, too, the Kings, we saw Sabonis just eat our bigs alive. 10 for 15 from the floor, 7 for 8 from the line. And again, Busy or Jock just couldn't do anything against him. But at least in this one, Jock had a great offensive game. He had 17 points. So on 8 for 11 shooting. So that was real nice, but that's not enough. Kings are a solid team, and we're not going to beat them without our best 2 players, or 2 of our best 3 or 4 players. You just can't expect a ton from this team. But I mean, look at the third quarter, outscored by 19 in the quarter when all the before mentioned ref antics happened. Like that, that's the difference in the game right there.
Yep. Yeah, that third quarter was awful. It was really looking promising. I think I texted you and said, this is the best we've looked without KD. In the first half of that, yes. Kings. But then no one wants that to continue, I guess. So
no. Yeah, it's been rough. It's been rough. And like Chris Paul in this game, 15 points, 13 assists. You love seeing it. But then he's 5 for 12 from the floor, and he missed how many layups, like right at the rim?
Right.
I feel like he's short-arming anything that, like if he can't get his patented elbow jumper, I feel like that really knocks him off his game. And if he does have to take that 1 or 2 more dribbles into the paint, he knows he can't elevate over anyone. He knows that without Ayton there's probably not anyone to dump it off to who can elevate over everyone. So he ends up putting up a goofy looking floater layup bank shot, and they just have not been dropping. So I think teams are really pushing him into that space, and that's been making him struggle a little bit as a scorer lately.
Yeah. It seems like he's been getting a little frustrated lately too. I mean, I want to say he had 11 assists in the first half and then only 2 in the second. I mean, it's like, I don't know, but what I'm just kind of noticing is when things are starting to get tough and not go exactly his way, he is getting frustrated. And that's very out of the ordinary for Chris Paul. That's not usually how it goes. So I hope he can get out of his own head a little bit.
Despite the 15 and 13 and 6 rebounds. Oh, by the way, 2 offensive rebounds
in that one possession.
One possession. That was awesome.
That was great. Yeah.
That was cool. But this is where you want Campaign to be producing, and this is one where he didn't. He scored 1 point, 0 for 5 shooting, did have 5 assists, but 3 turnovers. So nothing special there. And we just need more than that, like I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, we do. And I don't know. I just kind of try to remind myself, if we would have had Ayton and KD, this probably would have been a much smoother game and likely an easy win.
Right. One more little silver lining from this one, though. A few guys off the bench really produced in this one.
Oh, yeah, our bench was pretty good, aside from Payne.
Ross, 6 for 10 from downtown, 30 points in 27 minutes.
Yeah.
I feel like Monty needs to be able to capture these games or these minutes or whatever they are when they happen, because he's an inconsistent guy too. But I feel like he needs the shot to get out there and, if it's not dropping, plug in, D. Lee or Wainwright or someone else.
Right. Yeah, and Damian Lee and Ish Wainwright haven't been playing very much lately, and I think this is something we've said for a long time, especially when it comes to the playoffs. You have to go with the hot hand. And I think sometimes Monty, that's been our criticism of him, sometimes he goes with his guys a little bit too much rather than the hot hand. So if Terry Ross is going out there and hitting shots like that, you got to keep him in. You can't just sub him out for the sake of your rotation. If he is hitting shots like that, you got to let him keep doing his thing. So I really, really hope that we can do that. But I'll tell you, I think an old dog can learn new tricks. And got to take it to college for a second, though. Mark Few is a very, very similar to coach to Monty Williams in that way of they both love to stick to their rotations. It works a lot of the time. They don't like to change too much. Don't necessarily love in-game adjustments. But in this last game against UCLA, Rasir Bolton, who has started all season long, has been pretty good for what he is. He was just having a terrible game. Turned the ball over time after time, wasn't shooting well. And I just said, we're going to lose this game because we know Mark Few is going to keep going back to him because that's what he does. And literally, he did not put him back in that game in the second half until the very, very end, when it was very situational, like, okay, we need all our shooters on the court right now because we know we're going to get fouled and we need our best free throw shooters out there. So that showed me, like, that was very, very encouraging. I have never seen Mark Few do that in all the time I've watched Gonzaga basketball, which is a long time. So if Mark Few can do that, so can Monty Williams.
Well, and you can still have gripes about the lineups that he did put out in this game, but I was happy that TJ Warren, Jock Landale, Terrence Ross, they all did get more run than they usually would in the game. Yeah. So that is encouraging, but I think it's tough to have TJ Warren and Terrence Ross out on the court together because that's just a defensive black hole right there.
Totally.
You don't want that.
Right, and I'm glad TJ got some run earlier in the game, too, instead of just in garbage time.
Was he the first guy in off the bench?
He might have been.
I think he was.
Yeah, and he hit some nice shots.
Yeah, and, we really don't know what Monty is doing right now. We don't know if he's just trying to get by without DA and KD, or if he's really trying these guys out to really fill out the playoff lineup.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on there, but I was happy to see TJ get big minutes, and then he gets into a rhythm, 7 for 13 shooting. That's nice to have off the bench. And then Terrence Ross too, same exact story.
Yeah, TJ needed that so bad. Oh my gosh.
Yep. All right, so that ends last week's games. We'll quickly talk about this week's upcoming games. We're about to play the 76ers this evening, so we won't be talking about that much. Good luck to Jock and Busy against Embiid, though.
Oh, I know.
And then there will be 2 more games this week before our next episode likely comes out. We'll have the Utah Jazz in Utah Monday, and then Phoenix, we head back home for the Timberwolves.
Yes. This Utah game is probably one of our more winnable games in the foreseeable future. So I hope DA is back for this. That would help so much. But yeah, the Jazz are a team that's kind of been on the fringe. We've kind of followed them a little bit this season, where they started out way hotter than anyone expected, and then they kind of came back down to earth and played how maybe we thought they would. They lost some games, and then they kind of crept back up, and now they're still knocking on that door. They're maybe, are we going to fight for the 10th seed? Are we going to try to lose and focus on the draft? They're kind of in a little bit of a limbo type spot. So I think this is one of our more winnable games.
I think so too, but then I get scared because they have, Walker Kessler as a rookie is having a great season. Then they have Olynyk, and then is it looks like he missed last game. I'm not sure if he's out, but if he is there, that's just a ton of size. We absolutely would need Ayton and or KD back for this one to not just get beaten up on the glass. And I'm worried about this game, honestly, because this is one of the more winnable ones, but eek.
It's still going to be hard. Yeah. That tells you what the rest of our schedule looks like.
Right. So I'd really like to hear more about Ayton's return sooner rather than later. That'd be really great.
I know. He's, the last I saw is he is doubtful for this game against the Sixers, but a couple days between that game and this Utah game, hopefully that gives him time to heal up.
I hope so too.
Yeah. I also saw for the Timberwolves, Karl Anthony Towns might be returning I don't know if he'll be.
He's back.
He's back. He's back.
Yes.
Okay, he's back. Great. That
same exact story.
Ugh.
But worse. Gobert and Towns. That's a ton to handle. And unless whoever we have out there at the 4 and 5 are keeping them honest by pulling one or both outside, that's going to be really tough too.
Yeah, it is.
And defensively, again, that's going to be very tough because Busy put him on Gobert. Hopefully that can be a bit of a scratch for some of the game, but Jock is going to have to be guarding those guys. That'll be tough. And then whoever's playing the 4 is going to have to be guarding Towns a lot of the game.
Yeah, that's rough. Oh, man. Well, this will be our bet question game. So, Timberwolves, Suns. Well, let's go KD. No, I'm just kidding. Because we don't know if he's going to play. Let's do something that we know is very, very likely going to happen. How about who really hasn't missed many games this season? Let's go. Well, this is Okogie's former team. Let's go Josh Okogie rebounds. How about that?
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I got to think about that for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Mitch typing in Josh Okogie average rebounds per game.
No, I'm typing
3.3.
Okay.
I'll go 4.
4. Okay, I'm gonna go 2.
Spicy.
Oh, let us know on Twitter at Sunny and PHX Pod how many rebounds you think Josh Okogie will have in Wednesday's game against the Timberwolves, and whoever is closest will hopefully get a shout out on the show as long as Josh Okogie actually plays. So I feel pretty good about this one, though. I don't think he's missed a lot of time this year.
I just knocked on wood.
Okay, so he's for sure playing.
Yeah.
Well, and with that, we're done talking about all these struggles. Hopefully next week is different. But we'll move to our non-sports section of the show. So pulled another question from teambuilding.com/blog/icebreaker-questions. And our question this week is, what is your favorite seasoning?
All right. So mine is, and we've been doing this show for so long, I feel like I've talked about this product in a different context, not what is your favorite seasoning. But it's called Butt Rub.
Oh.
And it's a barbecue type seasoning, but it works well on everything.
Okay.
So, I mean, burgers, steaks, chicken, you throw it on anything and it's delicious. And I am nearly out. I've been rationing it, and I've been going long periods of time without using it. But I know I can buy it online and have it shipped here, so I'm going to probably have that done soon. But that's my favorite, specific one. As a secondary one, though, I love lemon pepper.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's a good one.
Yes.
What is in the butt rub? Do you know what it's a mixture of?
I do not. It's similar to like a normal seasoning salt, but there's some extra bits in there that I don't know what they are, but gives it a little edge, I'd say.
Okay. Huh.
And it's more of a coarse grind type thing compared to a normal like Lowry's seasoned salt.
Oh, sure.
So I appreciate that too.
Huh. Okay. For me, I guess lately, the thing I've really been liking is this stuff called Aleppo pepper. Have you ever had this?
I've heard of it. I may have had it, but I don't own any.
Okay. It's really, really good. It's basically like red pepper flakes, but it's ground a little bit more finely. And it's just so good. And we put it on just about everything, like you're saying. We have been eating a lot of chicken noodle soup this past week, and you throw a little bit of that Aleppo pepper, and it gives it just a nice spice. Really, really good flavor, nothing too overpowering. Like, I really like cayenne pepper, but if you use too much of that, it can get out of hand. But this Aleppo, I pour that stuff on, and it's really nice. I also really love it in eggs. That's really, really nice. So, yeah, I think I have to go with the Aleppo pepper right now.
That sounds really good. And we also just burned a meal with a little too much cayenne within the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, I can relate there.
Yep. But I'm a big fan of it. I recommend trying it. I used it on some grilled shrimp that I did recently. Chicken noodle soup, eggs, really anything. It's just a nice little compliment. Especially, I like to mix it with just like regular like black pepper too. That's really good. So,
shout out black pepper.
Oh yeah,
in general.
Yeah, definitely.
On a baked potato.
Oh yeah.
I could just go some butter, some salt, and then a ton of black pepper, and that's so good.
Oh yeah, and again, you could put that in soup. You put it on a salad. That's really nice. You put it in eggs. I mean, I've sent you pictures of the eggs that I make, and I dump black pepper on there. I love it so much. So that's a tried and true classic, though.
I can see why that stuff used to go for like $1,000 a barrel back in the day.
Oh yeah. I could see why it was a delicacy.
A big hit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yep, that's where we end this thing. So thank you guys for tuning in. Hit us up on Twitter at Sunny and PHX Pod or our YouTube page, Sunny and PHX Podcast. We'll be back next week with another episode, and hopefully some Suns stars return to the team by then as well. Thanks for tuning in, and go Suns.